The Bennett family Thanksgiving dinner was always a spectacle of money and prestige, but this year carried a different weight. Maybe it was because it was our first Thanksgiving without Grandpa Walter, or maybe it was because my brothers seemed more smug than ever. Either way, I sat at the far end of the walnut dining table in our family's San Francisco estate, feeling like a stranger in my own house. I'm Evelyn Bennett, though my family acts like I'm just some outsider borrowing their name. At 31, I chose to become a public school teacher instead of joining the family's real estate empire, Bennett Urban Holdings. To them, that was the ultimate disgrace. It was humiliation. "Evelyn, dear," my mother crooned, voice laced with forced cheer as she offered the platter of turkey. "How's that job of yours going?" "Still molding young minds?" My brother Nathan, 34, sneered behind his glass of Pinot Noir. He was the COO of Bennett Urban Holdings, wearing a suit worth more than my entire annual income. "My work is meaningful, Mom," I answered softly. "Last month, our students organized a drive that got books into 3 neighborhood libraries." "How noble," my eldest brother Lucas, 36, said with a smirk. As CEO, he slid a slim envelope across the table. I picked it up, already predicting the insult inside. A $5 Pete's Coffee gift card, the same cheap gesture as last year and the year before. "That should last you a couple of days," Nathan laughed. "Or do you just drink the cafeteria swill now?" Mom exhaled theatrically. "If only you'd accepted the position we offered at the company, you could have had everything." Everything, like Lucas and Nathan's matching Porsches, or their luxury condos downtown. Like the affection my parents withheld because I chose purpose over profit. The doorbell chimed, halting the tension. Our housekeeper, Teresa, appeared in the doorway looking unexpectedly nervous. "Sorry to intrude," Teresa said quietly, "but Mr. Carver is here." "Carver," my mother's brow tightened. "Edward Carver, Grandpa's attorney." "What could he want on Thanksgiving Day?" she snapped. "He says it's urgent, Mrs. Bennett, about Mr. Walter's will." Tension rippled through the room. We'd all received our shares from Grandpa's estate last month, small trusts for the grandchildren, some antique furniture for my mother, and, supposedly, Grandpa's controlling shares in Bennett Urban Holdings going to Lucas and Nathan. Or, so we thought. Edward Carver entered the dining room, rain droplets glistening on his suit. He carried a thick briefcase and looked unusually serious. "My apologies for interrupting your Thanksgiving dinner," he said, "but this cannot wait. There's been a development regarding Mr. Walter's will." Nathan set down his wine glass. "What development? Everything's settled." "Not entirely." Carver opened his briefcase and took out a sealed envelope. "This morning, per Mr. Walter's instructions, I opened this document, meant to be revealed 3 months after his death." Lucas stood, all business. "What kind of document?" "A transfer of ownership," Carver said, meeting my eyes, "of his shares in Bennett Urban Holdings." "We know this already," my mother snapped. "They went to Lucas and Nathan." "No." Carver's voice grew firm. "Those were decoy papers. The true transfer, signed 7 months before his death, places all of Mr. Walter's shares, 82%, in the hands of his granddaughter, Evelyn." Silence crashed over the table. I stared as Carver set the envelope in front of me. "That's impossible," Nathan muttered, pale. Lucas slammed his palm on the table. "She's a teacher. She can't run a real estate empire." Carver held up more documents. Mr. Walter was clear. The shares, valued at roughly $225 million, 0 cents, are Evelyn's now. And he left you this letter explaining why. My hands shook as I opened it, seeing Grandpa's familiar handwriting. "My dearest Evelyn, if you're reading this, 3 months have passed, and your family has likely shown their true colors. But I've also watched you stay true to yourself, Evelyn," the letter read, Grandpa's handwriting elegant yet firm. "You've used your heart and skills to help others instead of chasing status. That's why I'm leaving you everything. Not just the shares, but the responsibility they bring. You know, as I always believed, that business should serve people. Not the other way around." Your brothers and parents will be furious. They'll try to fight this, but everything is legally secure. Mr. Carver has the documents. Use this power wisely, my little star. Show them that compassion and business can go hand in hand. Show them what the Bennett name should stand for. All my love, Grandpa Walter. I lowered the letter. Around me, my family sat in stunned silence. Nathan was texting rapidly, probably summoning lawyers. Lucas's face was red. My mother slumped in her chair, pressing a napkin to her trembling lips. This won't stand, Lucas snapped. We'll contest it. You can try, Carver said evenly. But Mr. Walter made everything legally binding. As of now, Evelyn is the majority shareholder of Bennett Urban Holdings. Nathan pushed back his chair. You can't run this company. You'll ruin it. Ruin it? I shot back, courage rising. You mean underpaying staff, gentrifying neighborhoods, turning our family name into pure greed? I stood, gripping Grandpa's letter. Maybe it's time for change. Change? Lucas scoffed. You'll bankrupt us. No, I said firmly. I'll bring us back to what Grandpa wanted, a business that helps people and still makes money. Both are possible. Nathan rolled his eyes. This isn't your classroom charity, it's business. I picked up the $5.00 Pete's card and handed it back. Keep it. You might need it more than I do. Carver cleared his throat. Emergency board meeting tomorrow at 9. Evelyn, you'll need to attend. My mother finally spoke. Evelyn, darling, let's be reasonable. I shook my head. Those days are over. I turned for the door, then looked back at them all. If you're as curious as I am about what happens when compassion takes the driver's seat in a billion-dollar empire, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of my story. Grandpa Walter always told me real wealth wasn't measured in money, but in how many lives you help. Tomorrow, Bennett Urban Holdings would begin a new chapter. As I left our San Francisco estate, rain fell softly around me. Chaos erupted inside, but for the first time in years, I felt calm. Grandpa hadn't just left me company shares, he'd given me a chance to prove compassion and success could go hand in hand. My old Corolla started right up, as if rooting for me. Driving away, I thought about tomorrow's board meeting. My family always dismissed me for choosing teaching over corporate life. Now, I'd show them what a teacher could do with a $225 million 0-cents empire. The next morning, I arrived at Bennett Tower early. Instead of my usual thrift store clothes, I wore a sharp navy pantsuit from my short corporate stint. The security guard blinked. Ms. Bennett, we weren't expecting you. I smiled and stepped into the executive elevator my brothers once forbade me to use. Mr. Carver waited in the boardroom with board members, who looked shell-shocked. My family hadn't arrived yet. Evelyn, Carver murmured, are you ready? They'll try to intimidate you. They've tried all my life, I said. It's never worked. Right then, Lucas and Nathan burst in with lawyers. My mother slipped in behind, looking drawn. Before we proceed, Lucas snapped, our lawyers have concerns about this transfer. Your concerns are noted and dismissed, Carver said coolly, handing out documents. Mr. Walter's transfer is entirely legal. Evelyn is now the majority shareholder. Nathan dropped into his chair, while Lucas paced. Fine, Lucas spat. What do you want, Evelyn? Money? Name your price. I opened my laptop. Actually, I'd like to share my vision for the company. Your vision? Nathan scoffed. This isn't one of your school projects? No, I said, connecting my laptop. I'm talking about transforming Bennett Urban Holdings into a leader in sustainable, responsible urban development. The board members leaned forward as I launched my slides. Graphs and charts filled the screen. Data I'd quietly gathered for years, watching our family business from the sidelines. Our current strategy focuses almost entirely on high-end urban developments in wealthy districts, I began, but we're ignoring huge potential in emerging neighborhoods. I propose a dual strategy, maintaining our luxury projects while launching a new line focused on sustainable, mid-range housing and community partnerships. This is ridiculous, Lucas cut in. Our brand is luxury, period. Our brand is stale, I countered. Our market share has dropped 15% in 3 years, while rivals with sustainable models have surged. I advanced to the next slide, showcasing plans for community collaboration and better employee programs. Even our affluent clients want more social responsibility. By investing in local communities, we create loyalty, goodwill, and future markets. Mrs. Chen, a board member, spoke up. The numbers, they're compelling. But can you handle this scale? Better than they can, I said steadily. I've spent years working in schools and neighborhoods, learning how to solve problems and build trust. That's what teaching gave me, and it's what this company desperately needs. Nathan shot up from his chair. This is nonsense. We're taking this to court. Sit down, Nathan. The quiet command stunned the room. My mother was speaking for the first time, her voice trembling yet strong. Evelyn, show us the rest. For the next hour, I outlined my vision. Sustainable practices that would cut costs, employee training that would reduce turnover, community initiatives opening doors to new projects, all backed by solid research and financial projections. When I finished, silence blanketed the room. Mrs. Chen finally said, I think we need to vote on this new direction for Bennett Urban Holdings. The vote was close, but with my majority stake, the result was clear. My vision would move forward. This isn't over, Lucas growled as he stalked out. No, I said quietly. It's just beginning. As the room emptied, my mother lingered behind. She seemed older, softer. Your grandfather, she murmured, eyes glistening, always said you were different. I thought he meant fragile. Maybe he meant strong. I gathered my papers, thinking of all the years I'd wanted my mother's approval. It's not too late to see it now, Mom, I said softly. She nodded, then left me alone in the boardroom. My boardroom now. I walked to the windows, gazing out over San Francisco's skyline. Below, people I'd worked with as a teacher were living their lives, struggling, hoping for better. Now I had the power to help them in ways I'd never imagined. My phone buzzed, a text from Mr. Carver. Mr. Walter would be proud. I smiled, touching Grandpa's letter tucked in my jacket. The $5 gift card days were over. It was time to show my family real value. 3 months into leading Bennett Urban Holdings, changes were already making headlines. Forbes ran a feature, The Teacher CEO, How Evelyn Bennett is Redefining Urban Development. Despite Lucas's warnings, our stock price had climbed 12%. I was reviewing plans for our first community integrated housing project when Nathan appeared in my doorway. He looked different, less sharp, more human. Your assistant said I could come in, he said quietly. Sarah, I corrected. She's our director of executive operations now. Turns out she has an MBA she couldn't use because no one promoted her before. Nathan shifted uncomfortably. That might have been my policy. I gestured for him to sit. What do you want, Nathan? The Bayview project. The sustainable development you're planning. I've reviewed the numbers. They're solid, really solid. Your community partnerships are generating buzz like we've never seen. I leaned back in Grandpa's old chair. Is that all? No, Nathan swallowed hard. I want to help, if you'll let me. I looked at him, remembering all the dismissals, but also the brother who once shared toys and secrets. Why should I trust you? I asked. Because you're right, he said, his voice cracking. About everything. About this company. About who we could be as a family. Lucas is still fighting this, Nathan confessed. But I see it now. Before I could answer, my phone buzzed with a message that made me smile. Come with me, I said. There's something you should see. We took my old Corolla. Despite my new wealth, I'd refused to upgrade. We drove south through San Francisco to Bayview, where our first community project was underway. The old Fremont warehouse, once abandoned, was alive with construction. What is this place? Nathan asked as we stepped inside. Phase 1, I explained. The ground floor will be a training center for urban development jobs. Upstairs will be affordable apartments run by graduates of the program. The projected margins are even higher than our luxury projects because of tax credits and community support. In a makeshift classroom, trainees listened intently. I recognized faces from my teaching days, people who just needed a chance. Okay, Maria, a former student now training as a project manager, rushed over. The local artist collective wants to provide all the interior art. Nathan watched, a new light in his eyes. This isn't charity, he murmured. It's business strategy. Took you long enough, I teased. Doing good and doing well don't have to be separate. Grandpa Walter taught me that. Back at Bennett Tower, I showed Nathan the full vision. Sustainable housing, community partnerships, employee training, all built to grow profits and transform lives. I need someone to oversee financial structures, I said carefully. Someone who understands numbers and purpose. You'd trust me with that after everything, he asked. Prove me right. He nodded. I will. Just then, Lucas barged in, waving a newspaper. Have you seen this? He demanded. Bennett Urban Holdings named most innovative developer. They're calling you a visionary. Haha. He paused, noticing Nathan beside me. Lucas, I said, want to see what we've been working on? Lucas stared as I pulled up the Bayview plans. His expression shifted from disbelief to understanding. This could actually work, he whispered. The future, Nathan added. The real future of our family's legacy. Lucas slumped into a chair. I've been fighting you so hard. I never even looked at what you were doing. Is it too late for me to be part of it? It's not too late, I said. We need someone to lead international projects. Hope flickered in his eyes. You'd let me? Family, I said simply. That's what Grandpa wanted. Not just profit, but purpose. Together. That evening, as my brothers worked on project plans, Mom appeared with takeout containers, a first for her. Your grandfather, she murmured, watching Lucas and Nathan discussing ideas like partners. He knew exactly what he was doing. I touched Grandpa's letter in my drawer. He knew what this family and this company needed. Sometimes it takes a teacher to rebuild an empire. Mom smiled for the first time in months. And sometimes, she said, laughing a little, it takes a $5 coffee card to reveal $1 million truth. Grandpa hadn't just left me a company. He'd given me a chance to heal our family and prove that wealth without purpose is poverty, and true success means lifting others as you rise. 1 year later, I stood in the lobby of the completed Fremont project. Local art filled the walls, sustainable materials glowed under soft lights, and our graduates stood proudly in staff uniforms. The press buzzed about Bennett Urban Holdings' revolutionary community model, but that wasn't what mattered most. What mattered was seeing my family working together. Nathan explained financials to investors, highlighting how community partnerships increased profits. Lucas gave tours, excited about the training center. Quite a change from last Thanksgiving, Mom said beside me. Remember the $5 coffee card? I smiled, glancing at the framed card and Grandpa's letter hanging near the entrance. Maria, now assistant manager, approached me, her eyes bright. Miss Bennett? My daughter just got into college, on the scholarship you started. That scholarship, surprisingly, had been Nathan's idea. Education changed everything for our family, Mom said softly. Let's keep passing that forward. A year ago, I began my speech to the crowd. I was a teacher who believed business could be more than profit. Today, we're proving compassion and success aren't just compatible. They're inseparable. The applause wasn't just for me, but for everyone who'd helped transform a business empire into a force for good. And maybe for the girl who refused to give up her dreams, even when mocked with $5 coffee cards. If my journey means something to you, share your thoughts with me below. Tell me how you transform your own corner of the world. Subscribe so we can keep proving that kindness and success belong together. Remember, never let anyone tell you your compassion is weakness. It's your greatest strength. Use it boldly, in business, in life, and in every choice you make. The world needs more hearts willing to build something better.